Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, hosted by two nationally published Atlanta interior designers, Joanne Kandrak and Kelly Cole. These energetic women are also world travelers, charity givers, and bloggers with a wealth of information to share and stories to tell about the interior design world. Okay, now just a warning, this is going to be fun and not too serious. After all, they still do have an interior design business running at full speed.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, and this is episode 34. We are talking about the ABCs of window coverings with our guest, Ann King. So, we figured that every home in America needs some kind of window coverings, and we are really honored to be an approved Hunter Douglas dealer. Their choices are endless, but they're very overwhelming for our clients. So this is a really great service that we provide in our design business, and we really incorporate Hunter Douglas in every design project that we do whenever we have the chance. But every time we do, we learn something new. So we figured that we could all learn together, and we thought we'd have Ann King, who's our district sales manager with Hunter Douglas, come on the show because to us she is the guru of Hunter Douglas. So we want to welcome her.
Well, thank you, Kelly. I'm very grateful that you invited me to come and participate. I have been with Hunter Douglas nearly 25 years, and I've managed and partnered with our dealers in 3 separate states. So I started with Hunter Douglas in Michigan and have traveled to Missouri and now here in Georgia. And through the years, I've seen a lot of changes with Hunter Douglas, including some of the lift systems and fabrics and designs that we offer the consumers, working through our great dealers such as Kandrak and Cole.
There's so many changes, right?
Hunter Douglas is one of those companies, to me, like an Apple, that's just a trendsetter who's really very well known. I love their product knowledge. There are training sessions all the time for dealers and installers. Their customer service is incredible. You can call it anytime. And the people there are so knowledgeable. Ann King sitting here, what the wealth of information that she has
we wish that we
is
had.
Astounding. Yeah. So we are so happy that she came to talk to us. So we wanted to just mention some of the products that we use the most for our clients. And those are Cellulars. They're called Applause and Duettes. And we like to layer them with custom window treatments. They're simple and easy. They have different operating systems to open and close them, different opacities, tons of fabric and texture options, and then all these specialty shades.
So when we're working with Cellulars, for example, and you can help us kind of understand the difference between the Applause and Duettes. I believe the Duettes are the double cell and Applause is a single cell. So yeah, that's kind of how I think of it. Is that too simple?
Well, think of it as we have different product offerings for every customer and every customer's needs and every customer's budget. Okay, so Duette is actually the premier honeycomb product within the category, and it was introduced in 1985 during the energy crises, but we put a lot of design and detail refinement in the Duette line, and the fabrics are more textural, more design colors on trend, and we also have the Duette Architella, which is our innovative honeycomb in that the inner cell is layered within an outer cell.
That's what I have in my house, and I love them.
And it's all about energy efficiency.
Yeah, so the aesthetic, of course, they're beautiful. It's the efficiency that's the key to those.
Yes, and for folks who are all about energy efficiency and practicality, the Duette Architella is the cream of the crop in the honeycomb category. From a designer's point of view, you have color retention with the Architella Duette. And so when you're picking a beautiful color like you all, I can see in your office here that you work with a lot of color, and you pick a beautiful deep green Duette, the inner cell is going to keep that depth of color hanging in the window. So,
and that's one thing about Hunter Douglas. They are so on trend.
Oh my gosh.
So let's talk a little bit about the different operating systems, because I think that this makes I don't think people really realize how easy.
Yeah. I think probably the average person is familiar with the wand. the plastic wand. But there are so many other options.
So, for example, in my house, I love the Light Rise.
The cordless lift system?
Yes.
It's very popular in Atlanta, and I know this is what you do in your design. You're always thinking through as solution folks of how they're going to manage their window coverings day in and day out. And,
So, Light Rise is a plastic, heavy-duty plastic
Little kind of handle.
well, we actually incorporate in the design, the details of design of our hardware and our Duette and Applause, the handle that's part of the bottom rail. And it's all about how that, ergonomically fits the hand. We think through that, especially in Duette.
So you just literally push it up with your hand and pull it down with your hand. No cords.
No cords.
So easy. And even the little handle, little tab is pretty. It just kind of goes away. It's clear.
Yeah.
It's not obtrusive in any way. So we use that one a lot. But then, what are the other operating systems we can use with those cellulars?
Well, you can also, and this applies to all of our product categories, not just Honeycomb, Duette, and Applause. We have the Ultra Glide, which is, think of it as the cord glides back and stays a constant length no matter where you position the shade.
I love
this is
that.
very popular because folks don't want things hanging. They want to declutter their life and declutter their windows. And the
No more
Ultra
cleats on the side of
You know
the
what I-
trim with the
you know what I
wrapping the
love?
cord around.
We're talking about this, but you can go on to hunterdouglas.com and there is a really quick, 30-second, 45-second video that shows the actual lift system. So you'll see somebody doing it.
Yeah.
So, because the names get a little,
Yeah, the names mean, it's all about a solution though, but you can go to Hunter Douglas on YouTube and look at YouTube videos. So we're all about the human factor in our design and development of our products. And Ultra Glide's one of those because years ago, and we still have it in the market, cords, you lift your shade and they come down long and they become not only a messy look, but also a child safety issue. Hunter Douglas, we're all over our child safety, and it's very much what we pride ourselves to think about for the family with children and cords.
And that's a good point because we have Ann on the show because, she's a friend and we use their product a lot. They're not a sponsor, although we might hit them up soon. But this isn't a paid thing or anything, but we really have a lot of clients, especially with our new builds and our renovations, who need that initial stage of window coverings. And they think, I'm just going to go to, Home Depot or Lowe's and I'm going to get some 2-inch wood blinds. And we think, we're like, but do you know what the options are? Do you really know what's
There's so
out
much
there in
out
the
there.
industry? Yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit before you run out and do that, because you probably don't know what's out there. So that's kind of why we're talking about that today. And because we're always doing custom window treatments. And I love the layer of that back shade to give you that energy efficiency or the blackout or whatever you need, and then the pretty on top of it. It's a beautiful look. So, so we've got the Easy Lift, and then we've got the Ultra Glide, and then am I missing one?
Another lift system is the Easy Rise. These names don't mean anything to folks. It's really about how they function.
Yeah.
And I know that's what you all focus on, but we also have this continuous cord loop system called Easy Rise on a roller shade. It's called a clutch. It's, you see it you go to a restaurant, you'll see a screen shade and it's got this loop cord. That is our, loop cord lift system. So when customers are thinking about this, they have to think about, again, how they're going to operate those shades. Do they want that cord hanging down in their window? And how is it going to affect, if they have little children, they've got to think about cord safety. The other lift system that is so popular right now is PowerView. And I want to talk a little bit more about that. But
we'll get to that at the end.
The fifth one that needs to be mentioned is a relatively new lift system. It's a motorized soft touch system. It is a wand that you simply tug to draw the shade down.
This is so cool.
And then you simply tug it up, and the shade lifts up.
I love that.
And
it's really cool.
and it's becoming more popular because again, it's simplifying your life and how you don't have to tug a cord. You just tug a wand, and the shade goes down. You push the wand up, and the shade goes up. Simple as that. Simplifying your life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you just brought up in restaurants roller shades and screen shades, and that's another product that we love that we started using when we were doing our multifamily projects and we were working in these leasing centers, and the sun was beating into these massive windows, and the leasing
floor-to-ceiling windows.
Yeah, and the leasing consultants were frying, and they were like, "What do we do?" And then we started loving them for our more contemporary residential jobs.
Well, what's great is they can block the sun, but you can still kind of see out of them. Next time you're in a restaurant, that's where you'll normally see them, and they're diffusing that blasting sun coming in, but you don't feel like you're being blacked out. You can still see outside. And these are not the roller shades of the
olden days that were vinyl.
Yeah, these are very sleek and very cool.
So remind me, Ann, what's the difference between a roller shade and a screen shade?
Well, they're the same thing. It's a category of product. It's a roller shade, but what's the difference is the fabric collection.
Okay.
So if you, again, like Joanne mentioned, you go into a restaurant, you'll see a roller shade hanging. That is a screen shade. You go into I'm going to plug Starbucks here. Starbucks, and that is a screen shade. And screen shades are a roller shade category. Great thing about screen shades, it blocks the UV, ultraviolet light that destroys your wood floors, and also it blocks the heat, and the energy efficiency is there. Okay, but roller shades is another. Designer roller shades are a collection of solid fabrics. Think of yard goods, not screen material.
Okay.
And they vary in opacity. That's a word of how much light is blocked by that fabric, from a sheer to an opaque. So this is a question of that I know you zone in on with your clients is how much light control does my customer need in that room?
Yeah.
And that's where designer roller shades come in. Different property of fabrics versus designer screen, which is blocking ultraviolet light and the heat and cold.
That was the other thing. We talked about the efficiency, but the UV. I mean, you can furniture that you spend a lot of money on. If it's facing, if the back of it is facing a window, and that completely
and you don't have
fades,
umbrella fabric.
Yeah.
Remember, this is a great one that we've used in a lot of our more contemporary kind of urban homes, where you have the big, huge window over the tub.
Yes.
And that roller shade is so pretty, and then we can motorize it. So when you're in the tub, or for me, I can never reach to the top because I'm too short. And when we did the Wilson's home, it was so beautiful.
It was beautiful. It just didn't take away. It didn't take away from any of the beauty of the room. It almost kind of went away, but it still let some light in, and you could maybe see a very faint shadow depending on the opacity.
Yes.
So that is a great.
And I think, a lot of these have, when you have those crazy, you have an octagonal window, or you have the cool porch ship round window, or you have the big oval window, but it looks like directly at your neighbor's house, and you're thinking, how am I going to put a shade on that? That's when we call Ann and go, or our installer, and go, help! What should we do? How do we measure this? But they have a solution, and it's great, because sometimes on those really pretty windows, the builder hasn't really thought, well, I'm going to be naked in front of that window,
Nope.
So
beautiful window, hard to cover.
Yep, exactly. So that category has a new one. You were just telling us about the Sonnet. Did I say that right? Sonnet.
Sonnet is a roller shade category. It's a relatively new product in the market. It's actually melding roller shades with a honeycomb.
I love that.
And it's a roller shade, and it's giving you the beauty of some dimension versus a flat piece of fabric.
Yeah.
And it also gives a lot of energy efficiency. So for folks who are zoned in on practicality, they're trying to cut down on that Georgia air conditioning bill in middle of July. Honeycombs and the Sonnet roller shade are going to really help that. I can see it in my own house.
Yeah.
But those both are products that go up, down. We also have other products that go up, down, roll up and down, but also open, close. And those we have, I'm seeing one here right in your office, the Pirouette, and we have the Silhouette. You may want to look at those on the hunterdouglas.com website.
Yeah.
They're beautiful, and also give you some UV protection and light control in different ways.
Because sometimes when you have a shade where your options are only open or closed, but you maybe want to filter like you have with the blind, you can adjust it so that you can still see outside, but you're not completely open. And that's what I love about that Sonnet, because it's got the softness, but you can still adjust the.
You mean the Pirouette, Joanne?
Yes.
I know.
See,
you know
we get
Joanne,
confused. This is why we need Ann.
You're good. But the Pirouette, like I'm looking at in your office, it's just beautiful. It fits the look of a Sonnet. We have folks that are that are combining the Sonnet with a pirouette in the same home. So it depends on.
Yeah.
This is where Joanne and Kelly come in. They help bring it all together
Yeah.
with all these choices that we have at
We
Hunter
all have our
Douglas.
strengths.
Yes, we do, and you have many.
So now one thing that we just did, if we're friends on Facebook, I posted this a live Facebook video of a huge new build install that we did last week, and everybody was so excited. And in the keeping room and in the morning room, Joanne did these woven wood shades, blinds, shades. Okay,
yes.
see, I am always learning. In like this woven white, it was so fresh.
Yeah, it's
I
beautiful.
loved it.
I just get tired of, you just don't want to walk into a beautiful home and see 2-inch wood blinds everywhere. It was a nice way because we did Hunter Douglas throughout the entire house. So not every room could be the same. So the woven woods were a little bit more casual for those areas. And then we did the pirouettes in the front, in the study and the dining room. And then we did duets. We did applause. They mix so well together. But the woven woods are something that I don't think you see very much. Or if you do see them, they're brown. So the color options,
The textures are super
The texture
cool.
just really, really made it look great.
I have them in my kind of dining room, kitchen area, in my family room, and I purposely chose them to be quite opaque. So, but what was nice about it, I had this massive bank of windows, and there's incredible height and widths available with all of these blinds options or shade options from Hunter Douglas, and so I only have 2 shades on this whole wall of window. And again, I just push it up and I pull it
light rise.
down, the light rise, and they are a brown, but they're like brown and tan. They're woven. They're like rustic but contemporary. Yeah. I just so remember that woven woods are an option, and like Joanne said, we're constantly mixing types. You know, everybody comes in and they're like, "Okay, Home Depot, I want 2-inch wood
Yes.
blinds throughout my
I
entire
have 46
house."
windows, and I want them to all be the same.
Yeah,
There's so
let's
much
mix
more.
it up, peeps.
Yeah,
Let's mix it up.
It gives rooms, some personality. But the one really cool thing that we did in this house, in a couple of the rooms, was the motorization and power view, and that's right now is where it's at. So we're going to let Anne take over and talk about this because this is something definitely that's worth listening to.
Yeah.
Well, I just do want, when you're talking about the fabrics and the colors, I just want you all to know, behind the scenes of Hunter Douglas Face, there are so many people that are doing so much research on color trends, textural trends, design trends that happen way before our products are brought to market, so that you and your clients have beautiful things to put in your home, these homes. So,
And they're fashion forward. They're not
fashion
something that's
forward.
going
And
to
design-
look dated.
and design oriented and detailed. So this actually includes PowerView. PowerView motorization is coming onto the market strong. We've actually brought the PowerView a few years ago, 3 years ago now, and the remote that will control a motorized shade is also design oriented. It's called a Pebble, and it's pretty. So it's unlike your ugly remote for your big screen TV. This Pebble remote actually sits on your coffee table and looks like a design element. Again, that's on purpose by Hunter Douglas. So, but wouldn't you like to, if you're like me, a working mom, and I come home at 6 o'clock at night and I see the sun baking in my kitchenette and my teenage boys haven't bothered to lower the shades, wouldn't it be nice that I could program those shades to come down at 3 o'clock when the heat and UV is coming into my backside of my house, and then they go up at 7 when the sun has gone away? Wouldn't that
Oh
be
my
lovely?
gosh.
And you don't
my
have to
husband
walk
is
around.
geeking out right now.
You don't have to walk around, shutting and messing with 46 different windows.
Yeah.
That's the beauty and that adds to the lifestyle of PowerView shades. And we just think of it this way: who buys a garage door today without having it remote controlled?
Yeah.
And it's the same trend we have now with PowerView shades. In the North Georgia market, it's almost 45% of our orders placed today
That's a lot.
this year in 2018 are ordered with PowerView, folks. So it's
And you can do that on your phone.
And yes, I'm taking it one step further from controlling a PowerView shade with a remote. You can actually have the app. The app is free. Check out Hunter Douglas PowerView app at your app store. And it functions with the app through a a device. This will mean nothing to you, called a hub. The hub is what talks to the internet in the house, and the hub's even pretty.
Yeah,
It is.
And
It's very
and
sleek.
see, this would excite my husband, my Apple, Mac husband.
This is all about guys who are, but I feel good because I'm keeping up with them. I actually set it up in my own home. My husband Dave, who is all about this kind of thing, and I didn't let him do anything, and I made him sit down in his chair, and then he's
I'm impressed. You did.
I know.
that.
I could work for Radio Shack next. But
Are they
seriously,
even in business anymore?
no, I don't think so. No, but it is really simple and it's affordable, and it's where it's at today. And
Well, you know what I think about too is a lot of people have second homes.
Yes.
And if your windows are, if the blinds are always down, that could be a security issue that someone might think, oh, they're not there now. Where if those windows are changing throughout the day, same thing. Like
Security.
it's a security kind of thing, and you want to be able to open them when you want and close them when you want.
Yeah.
From a distance.
So we in this install we were just telling you about where we did all the different kind of blinds. They didn't want the little remote pebbles on the tables, right? So we put the little this really
Surface mount.
pretty
Wall mount.
surface mounted. It's next to their light switches, and it's round, and it's so pretty. And so she can just with the touch of a button. Open all the blinds at one time, one at a time, all the way up, halfway down, whatever she wants. So that was option number one. And then the thing that I think is so cool is if you do want the remote kind of just on your coffee table, your end table, whatever, and that same little surface mount that was in the wall kind of comes down and sits in this. It looks like a fake
pebble.
rock.
The pebble.
The pebble, but it comes in all different colors, matte and polished. So for those of you that like the matte finish,
Yes.
us designers,
Yes.
they come in all different colors. Who knew? And so you can be like, as the day progresses, there's a glare on the TV. Down they come. You like my sound effects? Or then you go the next step and you have the Power View, which of course my husband would have to have because Siri operates our entire
Well,
house.
that's what I was just going to
And,
mention.
yeah.
If you have an Amazon Echo or Google Home device, you can say, Alexa, open movie time. Or do movie time, which is a position of the name. You give it a name and say it's movie time. All the shades go down.
Oh,
it's
my
movie time.
God, that's so cool.
Or Alexa, do sunshine in, and they all raise up. And you
really
put
cool.
this is where you put those positions, those names of positions. We call them scenes, on a schedule timing. So, like at my house, the block the sun scene happens at 3:00, and they go back, and the sunshine in happens at 7:00. That's that corner of my house. And the good news is, for those who are very practical about saving money, it has impacted our air conditioning bill this past summer.
Well,
And
I
used-
just got mine. It was $400.
Right, in Georgia's heat, and so that's the practical design part of it. But the design part, it's cool and it's neat.
It's fun.
And it's
Just like
fun.
we were talking about, with the kitchen and bath show, that everything is very technology driven. You could be at the grocery store and you can, check your app and look at what's in your refrigerator or whatever. This is kind of the same way.
Yes.
All of a sudden, you thought it was going to be a rainy day. Your shades are up, and then oh God, all of a sudden the sun's beating through. Turn on the app and say, "Go ahead, close those, please."
Yes.
Yeah.
You can do it remotely. We haven't even got. Yes, you can control your shades from Europe. If you're traveling to Europe, you can turn on.
That is so cool. I think for the security thing is a really big deal. I mean, of course, energy efficiency and saving money, and then the saving your child's life with the cords being all neat and tidy. And there's so many good things, but that security thing really, with the blinds changing up and down.
Well, the other
is
thing
really
that I want
cool
to say is the mechanics of Hunter Douglas are really incredible. They are so well made. This is not the kind of thing that you're going to have to worry about, oh God, this is broken, I'm going to have to. And if something is a little off, they are on it. I mean, their warranties are incredible, and they just the way they make things. I mean, it's
Well, I
awesome.
always joke
Yeah.
that we lock the engineers who develop our products in a room, and we don't feed them or let them out until they come up with something better. Or we constantly are improving. You can even see it in the Duette that we started talking about earlier, the honeycomb. When Duette came out, it was kind of, they refined it and refined it. They brought out beautiful fabrics. They came out with Arcatella. Again, we're always moving forward. We're the leader in the industry, and we want to be constantly. So.
Well, and that's why we just wanted to bring it up because, like I said, we do work with Hunter Douglas a lot. But just, if you're out there and maybe you want to use a different blind company or you want to, explore. Just know that there are options. We feel like, we have the experience enough to share with you to educate you that these options are out there and they really have so many benefits. So thank you. That was awesome, Anne.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, really
It's fun.
appreciate it.
Yes,
Fun.
All right, you want to do a little quotes to leave everybody with?
It's time for the quotes. Okay, so the inspiring quote for the day is, fear is a good thing. Fear is your friend. Everything that destabilizes you can help you. And that's Meryl Streep.
And we need to remember that when I was listening as I was coming into work to our podcast about the HGTV and Faces of Design and the pilots that we did. And I was thinking to myself, when we're like old and retired, we're going to look back at like the litany of stuff that we did and just say,
we had no fear.
Wow, how did we have the guts to do that?
You just jump in. You don't think too much about it. You can't overthink it. Just do it.
Yep. So I really love that. And of course, Meryl Streep is like the greatest thing that ever hit Hollywood. Okay, so remember like several shows ago, we were talking about branding and I brought up the company Bumble in Austin, Texas, and how their marketing was so amazing and how it attracted my daughter. Well, she had her third interview with them yesterday. And so we're all thinking good thoughts for her as the day progresses, and I'll be sure to keep you updated. But I was looking at Bumble's Instagram and laughing my butt off. They're so motivational, so funny, just so much stuff on their Instagram. You got to check it out. So here's your funny for the day, because this is me sometimes. Me. I wonder why I've had a bad headache for 3 days now. My body. Well, you haven't had plain water in over 36 hours. Your sleep schedule is non-existent, and you're always staring into a screen. Me while sipping my third iced coffee. Interesting. And that's so Joanne. We're like, oh my God, the headache won't go away. And normally it's because Joanne ate a piece of chocolate and she cannot do that during the day. It gives her an instant headache.
I don't know what it is.
And the other day I was like, I'm dying, Joanne. She was like, you didn't have your QT iced tea this morning, and because I don't drink coffee. And I was like, that's it.
Yep.
I need caffeine. I'm dying. Yep. So that headache. So that's it. Okay.
Well, thanks again, Ann Douglas, who, like we said, is the
Ann
queen.
Douglas.
Oh, Ann Douglas.
Yeah, that's basically what she is.
She's Ann. Yeah, she should be Ann Douglas.
Yeah.
Because she's
Queen
the
Anne
Queen Anne
of Hunter
Douglas. That's her new name.
Oh my gosh. You guys are so fun.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Have a great day.
Join Joanne and Kelly weekly for a lively conversation about trends, travels to industry events, current design projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do's and don'ts, product recommendations, and more. Be sure to follow the fun on Facebook. They're on Instagram at Kandrak-Cole, and of course, you've got to visit them online at kandrak-cole.com for more information.